In this video, we'll solve integral of sine squared of x dx using two methods. The first method is using trigonometric formulas. So I want to find the formula for sine squared of x that maybe brings it to a lower exponent. So I know that cosine of 2x is cosine squared of x minus sine squared of x. Because in trigonometry, many formulas can be derived from other ones, so I tend to memorize one of them and then go from there. So then cosine of 2x equals, now instead of cosine squared of x, I'm going to write 1 minus sine squared of x, because cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x, it's 1. So I found cosine squared of x from that relation, minus sine squared of x. So from here we can notice that cosine of 2x is 1 minus 2 sine squared of x, and we can find sine squared of x from here by moving 2 sine squared of x on the right side and cosine on the left side and cosine of 2x on the right side. So we get 1 minus cosine of 2x over 2. And this relation is going to help us solve the integral. So integral of sine squared of x dx is integral of 1 minus cosine of 2x over 2 dx. So from a second power, we ended up with the first power, which we have formulas for it. And we can split it in two integrals and calculate each integral. So integral of 1 over 2 dx, it's 1 over 2 comes in front, and then integral of dx, it's x, minus 1 over 2 comes in front, and then integral of cosine of 2x, it's sine of 2x over 2, plus a constant, so the final answer is 1 over 2x minus 1 over 4 sine 2x plus c. And we found out the integral of sine squared of x to be this expression here. Now let's try the same integral using integration by parts. So let's remember what that means. Well, integration by parts says if you have integral of f prime times g of x dx equals f of x times g of x minus integral of f of x times g prime of x dx. So in our case, we have integral of sine squared of x dx. So we are going to write it as a product of two functions. So we write sine of x times sine of x dx. But we notice that we would like to write the integral, to use the integration by parts, as a function prime times another function not prime. So I'm going to write the first sine of x as negative cosine of x prime. So that would be our function prime times the sine of x that was there. So these two are the same but written in a different way, and these are the way they were. Now, the integration by parts says put the product of two functions with no prime or anything. So in our case, it's going to be negative cosine of x times sine of x. Then it says write minus, so minus integral, and now copy the first one without any prime, so it's minus cosine of x, and then times differentiate the second one, so sine of x prime dx. That equals negative cosine of x times sine of x plus integral of cosine of x times sine of x prime, it's cosine of x, so that makes it cosine squared of x, which equals negative cosine of x sine of x plus, we know that sine squared of x plus cosine squared of x equals 1. So if we want to solve for cosine squared of x, we get 1 minus sine squared of x dx. So we separate the integral into integral of 1 dx, which is x, minus integral of sine squared of x dx. What do we notice? We notice that our original integral was obtained here as well. So if we add sine squared of x to both sides, we get 2 integral of sine squared of x dx equals negative cosine of x sine of x plus x. If we divide by 2, we get integral of sine squared of x dx equals negative 1 over 2 cosine of x sine of x plus x over 2. So let's take a look at the solution that we got before. So let's compare the yellow one from the left side with the yellow one from the right side. Well, let's not forget plus c. X over 2, we got it in both problems. In the first one, we got negative 1/4 sine of 2x, and here we got negative 1/2 cosine x sine of x. So did we get the same thing? Well, we actually did, because we know that sine of 2x, it's 2 sine of x cosine of x. So on this side, cosine of x times sine of x, it's actually a half sine of 2x. So this answer can be written negative 1/4 sine of 2x plus x over 2 plus c. So now they are identical. So just again, sine of x cosine of x equals sine of 2x over 2. So replacing this in here, that's how we get negative 1/4.